All right, so Van is going to be recording office hours today. Um, so just that you're aware, they get uploaded to YouTube afterwards as well. So if you want to listen later on, they will be up there. Peyton, who normally runs office hours, he's going to be here a little bit later today. We're expecting him in about a half hour. Uh, so he'll give us some updates on the latest. He kind of talked to us a little bit on Monday about what they've been working on. And it's still kind of the same as last week. They're rebuilding chat from the ground up. So, what we've heard from that so far is that they're really focused in on one bot. And I'm saying bot here because they're doing it off-site, so it's not even a butterfly right now. They're really focused in on this one character that they've created and making sure that it's good across the board, that it's remembering details, that it's creative in the conversation, that they're playing around with a global context for the memory. So they're playing around with feeding it rumors about each other. So I think that's really exciting. What do you guys think about that concept? It only knew about Thailand. No, no, this is something they're testing offsite. Will there be a filter? No, I don't think so. Can we list pros and cons? Yeah, that would be great.
It just seems like a lot more of a better experience. Like we've had a lot of complaints about chat over the over the time that we've released it. I'm not gonna lie, um, and a lot of that seems to have been put on the back burner, but it really hasn't. It's just been developed in a more private manner, and I feel like this approach actually does make it so that when it's introduced to our characters, it will be better overall.
And Peyton says they're trying more of a snap-like experience. So with that, they're going to be like playing around with sending the character pictures and like what happens when you do that to a person. That's what the bot should be doing as well. This is going to affect replies and comments. Um, I
I
don't
don't think
think so
so.
at the moment.
Yeah.
I think eventually it would be really good to have like comment experiences tied back to chat personally, just because that would feel more realistic if they knew what they commented on. What do you guys think about that?
I do too, but I do worry that the NSFW bots will just start being really recursive. Like I don't know. I worry that with NSFW bots, it's just gonna turn into a lot of thirst traps or worse for their comments. Which, I mean, okay, that is kind of the general internet, is there?
Yeah. um, July was the peak of roleplay mode, likewise with realism chat. That's what Autumn said. Yeah, I feel like chat has kind of had
Yeah.
some struggles the past few months, especially. And
Yeah.
then Peyton says in 1 to 2 weeks we're finally going to get it in your guys' hands. That's great.
Yeah, and he also mentioned that they're working on is for chat to be more of a driver in the character arc, which I personally think is great, as chat is the main place that you can put in information and get a fully like custom experience basically. It's I don't know. It feels like for the longest time chat kind of did lag behind since July, but I'm excited.
would it affect roleplay mode too much? I feel like it would be more better with realism. Yeah, I think that right now it's pretty cool having the two different modes and having the roleplay be kind of like separated out. It lets you kind of pick which flavor that you like.
Yeah, and in my personal opinion, roleplay is more for, again, getting that flavor that you like, for that customization, for, you know, like, unless you have a severe social anxiety, you're not role playing with every conversation, right? So roleplay should be different. Like, it should definitely be different to the realism mode. Or, oh, so Peyton did just mention that they're going to be keeping realism in roleplay, and this will be a new snap mode.
That's really cool. I think that's
Yeah.
a good decision. And he said it's really special when a bot sends you a selfie or back-facing camera picture.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah. That, I honestly, I'm excited. Um, One of the most magical things that I see when having any conversation on butterflies is when, of their own volition, they send images. That is when it feels like a real conversation to me. Oh,
yeah. What idioms are losing you? Slow down.
yeah. If you want us to explain anything, feel free to ask.
What about the limit of images will you get? Will that change? So the limit right now, it's kind of like spread out from my understanding. So you have a limit of 20, I believe, images that you can request from the butterfly, but then it proactively sends you pictures as well. And what I found is that sometimes butterflies will have in their personality that they're like a big fan of sending pictures, and that seems to help them send pictures a lot more.
Yeah. And so for the, yeah, um, for the ones that they can proactively send you themselves, those, if I remember correctly, are truly unlimited. They can send you as many as they want. But for the ones where you're using slash imagine, or you say to them, send me a selfie, those are limited to 20.
And then Peyton says it's probably going to be unlimited when they test it to get feedback, which I think is
Yeah.
awesome. Do you all like sending pictures to your butterflies? Do you do that ever?
I honestly, I will be the first to admit that I don't know what to send. I'm not a very picture oriented person. Like, I don't really have that many pictures on any of my devices. So, yeah,
I'll
it's.
send them memes from time to time like that.
Oh, jeez. Honestly, memes would be a fun one.
I like to have them try to make memes also. So, darling, you were uploading your camera roll, right? Yeah. Do you kind of send the same things in DMs or? Oh, cool. I've been doing a lot more post sharing recently, sharing to chat.
Yeah, honestly, I've been doing more reposting recently. I That is a good point. Peyton brings up that we should figure out a way to make butterflies a bit more social. Um, what are your experiences with just human to human interaction?
Oh my gosh, this week, the other day, people in chat were talking about DMing other users. I was so surprised. It's happening. Humans are
It
talking to
is?
humans on butterflies.
Oh, wow.
It's begun. It's the old men, yeah, with pictures of themselves as their profile pictures. They're friendly.
Oh, jeez. So you should be able to report those people, by the way, if they are asking for anything inappropriate.
Yeah, we don't want any of those type of pics being sent. Autumn, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be happening.
Oh, jeez. I mean, I okay, could you define UNC, darling? Like the only thing that comes to mind is Halo's UNC.
Like uncle.
Okay. Sorry.
So yeah, there's like that TikTok ban happening in the United States soon,
Oh,
or
that's
maybe
gonna be
happening.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
so, like talking about being more social, I feel like, here's an example. There's the Chinese social app called Red Note that made the news yesterday. I was looking at like that app a whole bunch yesterday. I thought it was really refreshing personally and like the layout. Have you guys seen those at all? It like has elements of Pinterest and Instagram and TikTok, and they're all kind of combined. Do you guys like Pinterest? Yeah, that's the Death Note, April. A huge part of butterflies right now is the visual aspect and like seeing the artwork that it creates or you create on there. So I think we have like a good affinity with Pinterest. That is such a visual app. I miss having my bots reply in the posts. Okay, yeah, because you've got private and NSFW butterflies and they don't respond to comments on their own posts. I feel like they probably should. Imagine we had videos on butterflies, maybe in like 3 years. Ooh, that first layout, Peyton, is kind of what the Red Note app looks like too. I love it. I want to see more visuals on my screen at a time. I think that's great.
So 516776 did bring up that the multiple character images honestly do not look like either character when they're made. Um, I just wanted to touch on that is unfortunately a known issue with the multiple character images. Um, the best success that I've had is having two modern characters because it doesn't really do the like I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't do period clothing. It definitely does not do any sort of fantasy creature. So, yeah, it's still a work in progress, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes they just feel like they're a different character altogether in those images, especially in the drawing style. Sometimes in realism, it gets them, or realistic style, it gets them pretty close.
Right.
How do you all feel about your butterflies being tagged?
I like it. I like seeing interaction with my butterflies, honestly. That is one of the biggest things that I like about the app is seeing that there are people interacting with my creations and sharing their posts and, liking their posts. It's great.
Yeah, that feels a little social to me.
Right.
Ooh, they should auto tag if they're compatible. I like that idea. Like if they're friends, they might just be hanging out with somebody else.
Right. That would be great. But how, like, would you want it by genre or if they're specific to that world? Like, for example, Deku from My Hero Academia and uh, another My Hero Academia character, right? Those two would make sense interacting. But if it was more generalized, then you would have something like Goku interacting with Deku because anime, you know?
Yeah,
So,
I feel like it could also end up with like Goku hanging out with Goku if not done correctly.
right, right. And for some things that could work. Like some uh, series have multiple universes and the characters meet each other, but it's not as
Or like
common as it
Doctor
should
Who.
be. Right, like Doctor Who. But even latest Dragon Ball universe has some shenanigans going on with multiple universes.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's weird.
Marvel's leaking.
It really is. But hey, people saw that success and went, "Heck, let's capitalize on that."
Hey, Darvel.
That's all right. Kingslayer said, "At this point, as a social media platform, I think it would be better for them to socialize with whomever."
Like making random friends.
Right. So there's there's a point to making random friends. There really is. But another big part of social media is kind of grouping things together. Like turns into like, right? So if you're posting a bunch of gaming stuff, that'll be seen by people who are also posting a bunch of gaming stuff, for example. I don't know if Butterflies does that, but that type of a thing would make sense. I know that the feeds are individualized so that the content that you're interacting with you see more of.
Yeah, right now butterflies are set up to have a greater chance at interacting with people that have common interests or franchises. But there is an element of random.
And Ethel, you're looking to only see anime posts on your feed? I mean, fair with the fantasy related. Have you looked into any of the bots to see if they are fantasy related? Because a few that I make seem like regular people until you look closer.
Endorphin producing content. Ooh, I would love to know what endorphin producing content y'all like to consume.
Yeah, I kind of do a little bit of historical fantasy. They're far and few in between compared to some of my other ones, though. And I'm excited for better feed ranking, too. It took a couple of months for me to be able to see some of my friends' butterflies on my feed, which honestly both surprised me in a good way and a bad way. You know what I mean? Like, being able to see your friends' posts is one of the big things about social media, right? Um, so the fact that it only really took a couple of months for a rudimentary version of the feed surprised me. But at the same time, it was more, I don't know. I felt like it could have been improved even then. But that's all in the
So,
past.
so Kingslayer, would you want to see more humans on your feed? There's a whole lot less humans posting to the feed.
Yeah.
I'm
It's I
liking that resharing feels a little social too. Sorry, Van, go
yeah.
ahead.
It's weird like you mentioned, I don't really see a lot of human content on the feed. I see a lot more just reposts of AI content. I feel like there's no incentive for humans to post pictures, to create posts, you know? It is a app that's basically focused around AI, but I feel like there could be more to it than that, you know? Like instead of focusing in on just the characters and their lives, why not create whole worlds with your posts? You know, it's like the human feed could just be a catalog for everything that they've ever created, and that wouldn't be a bad thing. Like, what I mean by is a human's profile. It wouldn't be a bad thing that way, but it would miss out on the social aspect of people liking and sharing that content.
Gotta encourage people to post. Yeah, I agree. Um, for me, I am really enjoying some of the comments that I get on my posts because they're wild. And then the comment replies are really good right now. Did you get pushed through like that? What do you mean? I see human posts in my feed sometimes, but I think it might be in my following feed. Would like a trending post be something that would be motivating to post more to the feed and feel more social?
I think that Autumn has a point where we could do a streak type of a thing. Just some sort of feedback that's more than a few AI generated comments and then nothing, basically. You know?
Yeah. So a streak is like when you do something simultaneously for multiple days. Uh, on butterflies, there's chat streaks, so it shows up like a little lightning bolt in your messages. 56 chat streak. Whoa. Yeah, I think that it would be a lot better if when you posted your followers or like more relevant butterflies were the ones commenting, Ethereal. Yeah, I think so too. Will we eventually get it verified? Well, I verify that you are Kingslayer. I don't know. Not on the horizon that I know of. Yeah. So when they're finished with the chat updates, what do you think they're gonna work on next? And what do you want them to work on next? Yeah, and with the talk about Flux when Boo was here
Yeah,
last, I think that that's probably on the horizon. Group chat and custom backgrounds. I'm with you there, Autumn. Chat is ugly right now. We need
custom
a
backgrounds
cosmetic
would be
makeover.
great. Yeah, or heck, even just custom emoji, like changing the emoji's color would be fun. Go like Facebook Messenger.
Um,
So I still don't think that right now the developers are worried about funding. Um, However, I still I still find myself doing the same thing that you do where hey, this is cosmetic and could be charged for or things like that, you know. I feel like the developers are definitely just trying to make the core product the best that it could be before focusing on anything truly cosmetic. And darling, that would be absolutely hilarious to have a Facebook marketplace where bots are trying to buy things.
and we're talking about all these social apps and yeah, Facebook Marketplace. That's great. Love it.
Yeah, and there is a fine line between cosmetics to earn and cosmetics to buy. I feel like, simple changes could definitely be an earned thing, but something that completely, yep, like the bot ones would just completely change something cosmetic again. Like bot ones you could have upload your background type of a thing. Meanwhile, the earned ones would have here's some AI generated ones from your butterfly, which could be honestly be even cooler. I don't know if any of you have any experience with a chat site called Dream Journey, but a part of their chat service is they have an AI generated background on the chat and AI generated music that goes along with the chat. And the background and the music get updated as you role play when you click on it. It can be good, but it can also be really bad. I've heard both good and bad from there.
I'm kind of surprised that nobody's brought up like a voice or calling when I asked that question, but I think everyone is kind of thinking fix.
Yeah, honestly, voice and calling would be great, but I feel like we're still like it's too early. The voice models that I've seen that can do live calling are still a bit buggy. Um, and when they are sounding, like they should, I don't know. There's a lot of deep fake potential there, which is definitely not good.
Yeah, I'm wondering like where that would be on the list of priorities too. I know that voice is super expensive compared to things like text or even images. Um, what do you all think on video? Is that something that you think is important?
I'm surprised we haven't talked about video yet, honestly, more than just the passing ones that we've had over the past year. Like, I don't know. That again feels like the technology is a bit behind. Um, have any of you used Vigil or Kling or Pika in the past? Pika is the one that really turned my attention towards text to video. But there's a couple more, Kling and Vigil. Um, they're weird. Like, they get really weird. 516, you can hit the disconnect quietly button. It's the hang up button. Um,
Thanks for coming though,
yeah.
516776. What I wish
So,
existed. Two lists in my butterflies editing page. Best friends and ignored list. Best friends would greatly increase the chance of the bot liking and commenting on that profile. Yes, I love that.
yeah.
Ignored list would prevent the bot from interacting with that profile in regards. Yeah, I love both of those ideas. Feels like a missing feature.
It's next to the chat. Might be a little bit away, like that. Oh, did we? That's something I haven't heard about, Kingslayer.
I
Um,
mentioned it in the moderator chat after a meeting on Monday, but
ah,
they said no lore books at this time, unfortunately. This was not on the docket. I know. I was also voting in favor of that.
yeah. That is a fair criticism there, Ethel.
So he was talking about the host not taking all of the personality into consideration, which is true.
Yeah. It seems to take what, the upper half or a little bit more?
It's about 800 characters, and that's spread between your initial sentence, the traits, so those individual words that are entered in, the personality and the background. So depending on how you utilize that space, whatever the first 800 characters are.
Right.
Yeah, the uneditable blocks, I would like that to be editable as well. Editable. That is hard to say.
And yeah, like being able to organize butterflies better would be a really big boon in my opinion too, darling. Like with I can't even imagine Kingslayer with his couple hundred bots. I only have a little over 100 and it's already really hard to manage.
Yeah, I want to sort them visually, sort them like socially,
Yeah.
um, sort their images. Bringing unlisted bots back. What would you do with an unlisted bot, Ethereal? Is that just something so that you can share it with a friend without having it up there?
Yeah, it's I don't know, having the anonymous, like changing your butterfly to be made anonymously is one solution around that, but it's yeah, no, it's weird. It, thinking about it more and more, like it would still be public. It's still it would be better to be able to privately share butterflies, even if they're marked as private. Like being able to control who they can follow would be great.
Oh, you
Like
have more than 500 now. Cool.
yeah, there is a design philosophy that they are coming from though, where too many UI choices is overwhelming, and I understand that philosophy. Like when I first started down my path of AI image gen, I had no idea what all those sliders did. I had no idea what KDPM meant or any of that, right? So there's definitely a learning curve if you just put too many options out there.
So, with butterflies, what are you all spending your time doing on the app? Is it creating butterflies or chatting or curating posts? Admiring my work. Aw.
For me, it's a mixture between chatting and making new ones.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Ethereal. Make bots chat and delete the message and then spread the feed. Huh. I kind of do a mixture. I'm all over the place, but I'd say most of my attention goes towards checking up on what I've already created. My butterflies are hella boring to talk to, in my opinion. I haven't talked to one in hella long. Do you think that's because of like the chat models? The chat kills the mood sometimes.
What
The
do you.
long ass messages. Okay.
Uh,
Yes, the
yeah.
chat models are very bad.
I know what you mean with the long messages.
For me, sometimes
Yeah.
I do get bored with chat because it's all kind of like the same scenario where you're messaging someone you found on a social media site. Whereas, like, I want to get deep in my imagination and, like, go fight aliens on a planet or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's it's very hard to create scenarios, honestly. Like one of the more popular things that I've seen on other chat platforms are basically scenarios, like world domination from aliens or post-apocalyptic survival or things like that, you know? But the few that I have created here on butterflies are just they're really incomplete. And yep, like Darling mentioned, there's no way to put an initial context into the message.
And sometimes I don't mind that too much, but other times I do wish that there was like some sort of initial message or scenario to go off of.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's cool because every time you talk to a butterfly, in theory, it could be different because it might be influenced about from like the recent posts.
Yeah, and that is kind of neat, but I don't know. Like I suppose that scenario bots are that specific use case where a greeting message is kind of really needed, you know? Without
Yeah.
that
And
initial message, there's no way to set up the rest of the context.
yeah, it can really make things fun and interesting and like easy. Sometimes it's not too easy in the current chat. Like I feel like I have to do more work than I want to.
Yeah. And Autumn does have a good counterpoint of initial messages can be lazily made. I've seen those everywhere too. But I've also seen some really well crafted initial messages. And there really is an art to creating an initial message, in my opinion. Like, basically, you have to hook the reader into being interested, and that in it of itself is an art. Yeah, I mean, there isn't really a need for it, other than the few of us that are trying to create, things that are outside of the character that Butterflies is centered around, you know?
Yeah, Adam, how do you tell if a butterfly is well made or not currently? Like, or anyone can answer that question too. Like, what do you look for when you're looking at a butterfly's profile to see if it's good quality?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say myself, is that, like, it's hard to tell if a butterfly is good quality because the text in the post is all the same, but the images is really the sticking point. If it has good images, then there's some care taken into it. I guess for me the easiest part about telling if it's good quality is actually chatting with it. I
Oh
mean,
man, I'm so lazy with my bio.
yeah,
Maybe I need to step my game up.
yeah, I leave the AI generated bio, and there's a lot of people that may like leave the AI generated bio. I don't think that's the best descriptor, but it's definitely a sign if there's a custom bio.
Yeah, I think so too. Like that's a good attention to detail, honestly. Like if they're not being lazy
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. And thinking it over, I used to actually make my bios by hand, but then I'd say maybe a month after the AI character generator, I stopped doing that.
Fast creation is bad for the site. Yeah, so um how many of y'all use the fast creator? Never tried it. Never in my life. No one. Fast creation sports generic boring box.
Yeah, I've used it a few times, mainly when I'm literally just testing out an idea, and even then, I will go back in afterwards and edit things because it tends to be really generic.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. I wonder like what the actual analytics are on that. I feel like that's a really important point. I know we've got kind of like a more focused group here right now, focus groups. But like of the general butterflies users, I'm wondering if they're enjoying fast creation more than we are.
I feel like training a bot on Wattpad would be a very bad idea. Just the diversity of content on Wattpad. What do you mean by that? The traits, like, I can kind of see where you're coming from with that a little bit, with traits being kind of useless, but at the same time, they aren't. It's just you really have to edit them a lot because those are some of the things that go towards the top of the personality, so they'll always be in that 800 characters.
First posted person in a coffee shop, 3/4 view without fail. That is the new post version of thinking about Thailand for
Oh,
sure.
jeez.
But
I
hey,
mean,
there's no more warehouses on fire.
uh, there's been a couple more warehouse fires in my world, but
Oh man, knock on wood.
yeah, the random event generator is still a bit random. It has not been
That has
fixed
not
yet.
been fixed. Um, so I've been kind of like thinking about solutions to that because it's kind of like a mess of a situation in my mind. It doesn't really explain that it's not using your full prompt in a post. Not good at all. Want Greg to find a warehouse on fire? Yes. If I used fast
Oh,
creation, I
jeez.
wouldn't love all my butterflies. Aw, Victoria. Ooh, is that the new Alex?
I actually argue the opposite, Ethel. I think that the fast creation is a way to get people who've never touched AI into AI.
I think
Like,
that fast creation is a great excuse for us to make advanced creation have a lot more options than it currently does.
exactly. Like,
Like, let's make it super advanced.
put a little bit more option into the fast creation. Just a little, not much. Basically, just make it so that the you can customize the traits properly. You can customize the bio at the very last step properly because it only really allows you to change the profile picture. Editing the AI bio, I have not gotten to work successfully until after the butterfly was made. But other than that, leave fast creation as fast creation and let the advanced creation be the like dominant thing that good creators use.
Ooh, did anybody else want to step on stage at all?
Yeah, you don't have to be shy. If you want to come up and talk, come on up. I mean, possibly. I I do feel like we should be able to edit the image prompt before a profile picture is created at all because
Yeah.
like Ethel was right. There's technically 9 regenerations per hour because it automatically uses that first one.
And I like Darvel's idea too. Like if you're putting in the extra effort, let's give you a little bonus. I think that's really nice.
Right. And Ethereal, don't tempt me to have you download Vox and voice effects because that could happen.
I'm sure you already have one, April.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize we've been missing out on that opportunity. A voice box would be great for D&D day.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be serious. That's fine.
Right. We're almost over here. It
Now I feel
is
like you have to sing.
right.
Just kidding. And to explain that to anyone, uh, we play D&D on Thursday nights at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time here on the server. And if you want to come hang out with us, you're more than welcome. 200 followers. Ooh. I wish I could send my bots to follow people. That would be really cool.
Right.
Hey, Roscoe.
Hey Roscoe. You did unfortunately miss most of it, but we are recording it and it'll be up on YouTube by 5 p.m. Central Time. Oh, right, on Telegram. I have not gotten there yet. I actually lost my phone over the weekend. So, yeah, we'll find it. It's bound to be somewhere in the Jeep. We just have to take everything out of there, and that's going to be a project, especially in negative 17-degree weather. Uh, there's a good possibility that Peyton had another meeting that took a little bit longer.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Well, you got me and Van and one another. And April, the CEO of Butterflies.
I mean, one day. I'm still thinking about making some like fun intros and stuff like that for YouTube, but I don't know.
That sounds cool.
I just don't know how I do it right now, like should I have like the logo be the main point or that's where I'm kind of
I think that you should record yourself doing a TikTok dance.
oh geez.
PowerPoint slide. I'm like picturing VHS all of a sudden. I don't know. Fan dabbing and flossing, yes. See, that is the vision.
Oh, jeez.
Autumn gets it. Wibble wobble, yes, that do.
Oh, no. No, no, no. That's not what flossing is in this instance. Sad thing is, I
Oh,
actually do know how to do flossing, dabbing, all that. But like, no. No, no, no.
so
No.
many good ideas.
There are good ideas. There really are. But no. I cannot do a break dance. I will break myself first.
It's like that Olympics from Australia, an Olympic break dancer.
Yeah. Okay, tell you guys what. You guys come up with a butterflies ad that can feature dancing in between showing off what butterflies can do, and I will floss.
I'm picturing one of those like used car ads with the
Yep.
gorilla seats.
Yep.
I don't want to see that for my purity. Okay, that's fair.
Oh, geez. No. That's going too far.
Oh yeah, Roscoe, we were talking about Vigil earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually one of. I made a viggle of me doing the PPAP dance a while ago, actually.
I remember this. Big fan. Lots of sparkles and glitter. Now I'm picturing blingy.
Oh, jeez. Niet. You guys really just want to see me dance, huh? Fair enough. Again, if I can figure out how to incorporate that into a butterflies ad for TikTok, it'll be on our TikTok. That much I'll promise.
I think like the absurdism of it is enough to like stand
Exactly.
on its own.
Exactly. I do think that, I mean, fair, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't end up on YouTube. We do have shorts on our YouTube channel. Yeah. Or heck, even Twitter. That's been rarely used. I haven't checked on our Twitter in a long time.
No, we are not on blue sky.
We might want to be in the near future, though.
Posted on MySpace. Yeah.
Oof, our last post on Twitter was on August.
An IRC channel. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I will shoe account be contact.
That is a good point, Athro. What did we go over?
So we talked about what's being worked on currently, what people want to be worked on. We talked about social media. We talked about making things feel more social. And we talked about band dancing. That was fun. I'm really sad that Peyton missed out on band dancing.
You know, I've tried a few times to make a butterfly in the style of Clippy, and it has just been a disappointment every time.
Oh, and Butterflies Marketplace, can't forget that.
I tried the anime model. I really did. It didn't work.
Maybe it's just not trained on Clippy enough.
Hang on. I think it's a public butterfly.
They've been playing around with Flex a bit, Roscoe. They've been trying to integrate it into some of the current workflows going on in the site, but it just wasn't there yet. Um, so maybe in the future. That blur in the background can definitely be like fixed out. Yeah, Flux is more of a censored model in my experience, but um, not always.
Right. It's weird. I've seen some from Flux that are definitely not censored, but at the same time, I keep hearing it's a censored model. So I don't know what's going on there, if those had a jailbreak or what. Oh no, did I delete him? I think I
Auto
deleted him.
message back. So Roscoe, do you mean instant reply or do you mean like chat revival messages? Because those should both be working. Um, at least I'm still getting chat revival messages and instant reply. What chat model are you using? Are you using roleplay or realism? Okay, most of my chats are on realism right now. I'll check out roleplay and see what's going on there. But if you have any active conversations where you're quiet for like a day or two and you haven't gotten a response, you could like open up the app and use Shake to report. That'll send it directly to the devs so they can look at maybe what's going on there. Is that Shake? I'm shaking what now? a bug menu should pop up, and you can write in the notes box, like, I didn't get a chat revival message or something like that, just kind of explaining what exactly is going wrong because they might not know just looking at it. What data is shared with the shake report? So I'm not entirely sure exactly what's shared. It says metadata, device data, and logs. There's 1,000 activity history logs, metadata, and info. So you can click into the metadata and info and see exactly what that is. And you can click into the activity logs.
So that's supposed to be a butterfly in the style of Clippy, but it is not. It is not a clip art butterfly. It always ends up being a person.
Yeah, Kingslayer had me make a butterfly today. I'll share that.
So rating messages slowly affects chat. Basically, the developers are getting just the number of the stars that you're putting in, and the like that is kind of important. When they get that feedback, then they make adjustments based off of that feedback. It's not an immediate effect, though. Yeah, it would be nice to be able to kind of train some responses.
QuickBooks website, they mentioned click history and various things also. Um, so the activity history, like if you go through it, if when you shake and you click into it, it doesn't send it right away, you can see what it's sending. I can show you guys what my activity history looks like. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, so from what this looks like, it is just basically what you were doing with the app and a little bit, maybe a little bit of information on your device because that can be device specific.
Yeah, it's under the metadata and info too.
Yeah.
So it has like the app version. Yeah, I do be taking screenshots. Yeah, so you can click into those, and it's got like a value and a timestamp. So it shows like when I was doing each of those actions as well.
So that's the information that is submitted when you submit a shake report from any of your mobile devices.
It's not like a paranoid conspiracy theory. It's just like being careful with your privacy and data, and I understand
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm not the most technical person, so stuff like this is like not easy for me to try to explain. So it's easier for me to just send the screenshot. What do you think of scheduled posts? Oh, that'd be cool. What do you think of scheduled posts?
I think scheduled posts would really help. And what do you mean by the custom profile pictures aren't really good because the image gen takes them as suggestions? So it's kind of a hit or a miss between whether or not they look like the profile picture that you uploaded. Yeah, I've seen that too. Like, especially with my robotic ones, they tend to be a 50-50, like down the middle of whether or not it'll take the robotic quality. So, I don't know. Are you describing the hair and all that in addition to the profile picture? Okay. Yeah, the clothes have never been consistent on any bot, and I think that's partially on purpose. Like, unless you are in a situation where laundry is difficult, you're usually changing your clothes every day, right? So that would be the same from everybody else, or from every butterfly, you know? And yeah, I don't like overweighting the clothing though, because then everything is based around the clothing. I mean, yeah. And popular media has protagonists wearing the same outfit every day so they're recognizable. It's, I don't know. Like, there's the artistic shorthand of this is the character because they wear this outfit with this hairstyle with this color, and then there's the point of we want them to feel real, and changing their clothes feels real. Would you mind expanding on that a little, Autumn? And yeah, Loam, honestly, that would be great. I think I would definitely start using that more.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that because Ethra was talking about the old school memories feature that we used to have, um, and how his favorite part of that feature was getting to see the text ahead of time with details and being able to cancel it before it starts. And I think that would kind of give the best of that feature, I think.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I think that that might be an issue with the underlying image gen itself. I've noticed that just basic bots that I don't prompt anything really sexual or really even describing their body are still sexualized.
Yeah, it's definitely got a bias towards sexy sometimes.
Yeah. Have you tried to make an ugly butterfly? I've seen some people make some really weird prompts to get ugly butterflies.
Yeah, I made one and it was hideous and I had to like change it. I just want like an average looking person that isn't like yassified.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see a face with some pimples every once in a while. Oof.
Perfection without cats. Perfection is with cats though. Gens, negative prompts.
And then the
I
weird thing
want a
is,
character with
like,
an eye patch.
programming in a scar, like you say the character has a scar under their right eye, it'll change the scar from image to image too. Like, in one image, it'll be a long, like almost a knife or something like that. And in the next one, it'll just be a little thing. In the next one, it'll just be on his cheek. It's weird.
Yeah, and trying to get any sort of like different eye is also really hard because it's like correcting wrong eyes.
And Gloozy brings up a good point. Characters with disabilities are very difficult. Though one bot that I have does mention diabetes every once in a while and has made a couple of posts with their glucometer in the frame, so that was nice. Wheelchairs, I don't know. I've seen some bad ones, I've seen some good ones. What I haven't seen good ones of are casts.
Well, Servo, I love it too.
Thank you. Yeah, I do actually kind of agree with Autumn that the image gen, the way it's trained, it's gonna be kind of difficult to not get conventionally attractive posts from butterflies. The ones that I've seen that are, quote unquote ugly people are really ugly.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
so it's more of a binary than a spectrum like it should be.
Yeah. And I guess people do like typically try to post the most attractive version of themselves on social media.
Yeah,
Or like even if I want a different type of nose or chin or face shape, body shape.
yeah, definitely, darling. Everyone is beautiful in their own way. All right. So I think that's about wrapping up office hours this time.
Sounds good to me. Thank you everyone for coming.
Yes,
Well, thank you,
Roscoe,
Roscoe.
thank you very much. We will get to that very shortly.
I would check, but I'm out of regions. No.
All right.
That looks really good, completely unit.
Yeah.
Like even her house isn't perfect. We lost the